Isn't behind the scenes special, people?
So begins another episode of the Inspired Disorder Podcast. With our hosts, Ray Taylor and Keith Spurlock. Disorder starts now.
Yay! That's how we start the Inspired Disorder Podcast. I really wish I had a burp. I know I have one, but it's just not ready yet.
You'll throw up and
I know.
that'll just ruin the show.
Yeah, I just like
Onto his mic.
Now I need a new computer. Yeah. Inspired Disorder Podcast. I'm Ray.
I'm Keith.
It's kind of weird. We are broadcasting live, hopefully still right behind me. The Periscope, the new app the kids are talking about.
Fuck these kids and their new shit.
No, you can't. I don't think you can say fuck kids in the same sentence. I don't think you're allowed to. Especially with that haircut, you can't.
I didn't say I wanted to do it. I just said fuck kids.
I know, but
My fucking haircut is on fleek, son.
Oh, it does look like an eyebrow. A blonde eyebrow. Just one.
Blonde?
Yeah.
That's just brown as fuck.
It's a black cat. Yeah. It's kind of weird, though, because, like, I'm not usually nervous doing this show. It's been a while anyway, but usually when I add new shit to the show or try something new or fucking move something, I get nervous. And I got nervous before the show. It's pretty fucking stupid.
So if the Periscope's going on, so it's just what, getting the back of your head and
It's
then me
getting-
on a computer?
Yeah, it's getting kind of my profile a little bit. It can see this stuff, see the mixer. It's just behind the scenes, and then it can see you. Although this right here might be blocking some of it. So,
Hi, peoples.
yeah. But the important part is there's a link to the better quality version that they could go see. So, you know. That's how shit works in the internet, Keith. I don't know if you understand, like, links, fucking HTML, tags,
Yeah, I've seen those before. I just
hashtags.
I delete them.
Yeah. Periscope's weird, man. I was, like, everybody's, I don't know if everybody's doing it, but definitely more and more people are doing it. And it's kind of weird, like, the first few times joining somebody's Periscope thing. You know, because it shows everybody that joins in the chat room. You know? I don't know. It's just kind of a weird, like, voyeuristic kind of, which I'm totally down for, you know.
I bet people are fucking like crazy on Periscope.
I haven't found any yet. I tried searching. I tried searching for a blog or something that would direct me to, like, porn stars on, and I tried doing searches. This is like one day, a few days ago. Full day. I just blocked the whole day out and just searching all day. So I haven't found them yet, man. I thought so too. I thought it was just going to be, you know, I don't know how long it took Vine to get that way, because that's what happened to Vine. And then that kind of fucked
People are
everything
fucking
up.
on Vine?
Fuck yeah, man. That's
you can
why
only get 7 seconds or 6 seconds, or
it's just like you'll get little clips.
how do you jerk off to that? Just the loop?
Well,
Watch
yeah, it's
the
a
loop
loop.
over and over
They're
and
like
over?
They're like video GIFs. So it's, you know, same idea.
Yeah, but there's regular porn.
For sure, but it's just like different. It's different shit, you know? You know what it's like when you can't just jerk off to the same porn all the time. You have to experiment.
Which has made me delve into ugly parts of the internet before.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of, that's what Vine was. It's not
But
ugly.
I'm still not gonna, like, just because I haven't in a long time, I'm not gonna go back to, like, jerking off to magazines and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So why, if there's already long form porn, who wants just a?
Because you're getting it in the mix of just your Vine feed, you know?
I feel like we're going back to those weird gifts that everyone sent each other back when you could first send fucking shit on a cell phone.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically the exact same shit. It's just better quality now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, everything's just better quality now. It's weird. It's really weird how good quality of shit you can do. Like, even the video quality of the Periscope, I'm curious just to know. I'm surprised it's actually streaming. So we got kicked off like 3 times. I don't even think we broadcasted live the whole time last episode.
How long till phones get super small again?
I don't know if that's the direction they're going to go. It'll be like an implant, if anything.
Yeah, but I mean, that's super small.
Yeah.
But I recently saw like the evolution of the cell phone.
Uh-huh.
And it starts with a big brick phone, and it gradually, like a bar graph, gets super tiny. And then the introduction of the first smartphone, and now they just keep getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah. I think, well, it's because you
gonna
can
go
do
back
different
down
shit.
eventually.
Well, it went smaller because all you're doing was fucking making calls on it. Now you want a
Remember
bigger
the
screen.
one Verizon phone that was like 2 inches by an inch, or it was fucking super small.
Well, they made fun of that shit that's like one of the last times when I was watching SNL. Yeah, the tiny little. Yeah, that was the joke. But that's when phones were only for phone use. Now they're little little tablets, basically. So you want a little bit bigger screen. It just depends on what you're using.
You could text back then too, but
you could. I never did. I didn't start texting until I got something with a keyboard on it. I just talk shit about all the people that would text until, like, I talk shit about all the people that got cell phones until I got a cell phone, and then the texters. Like, I would get a text on my phone, and I'd be like, I don't know how they did that, and I don't know how to send one back. Like, I don't know. Like, this is weird, man.
So this is early Ray pre wanting to do all the new technology.
This is, I don't know if I was even living in San Diego. No, 'cause I was moving. This is like 02, 01. Where I got
it's like right around when I got my first cell phone.
Yeah.
But I don't even know that I could text on that one.
I don't know if I could either. I had a little Nokia one.
I had a flip phone, but it was the kind where like the mouthpiece flipped open and exposed the actual keypad.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's weird.
Like the earpiece was always there, but you flipped open and this was just pretty much a cover for the keypad.
I had a just cordless phone. Like my home phone cordless phone was designed to look like that. That was the exact design. Except for
Did it have the long extending?
Yeah, you could. Well, I don't know how long the antenna was, but you pulled it out. But it was originally it was the white plastic, but then, plastic gets at antiques. So it didn't really, it's kind of weird. I liked it. I was like, this is fucking cool, man. It's like a cell phone that I can only use inside my house. But.
Yeah, it was crazy with the first portable phone that we got in the house. Because before then, I mean, we're during the era, like our early childhood was fucking corded phones.
I remember rotary. We had a rotary phone. It was like an antique phone, but like it was an older phone, but it was like an.
We had a rotary phone in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And it had the 30-foot long fucking cord.
Oh yeah, of course. That was what you did before wireless shit.
All fucking tangled around itself, and it was really only ended up being like a 5-foot cord at the end because everything was just knotted up and you couldn't fucking undo it.
Life was hard, man. How did we survive, bro?
Easily. And our parents were like, "Look at all the fucking awesome shit you have." When I was a kid, and it's like,
yeah, but they don't. I don't even think they appreciate all the shit we have because they don't understand. I mean, not everybody, not all old people are ignorant to technology, but a lot of them are. So they don't even know all the cool shit you can do with a computer nowadays because they just use that shit for like emails, pictures, maybe Facebook. Like they're not doing shit on their computer. They're just looking up shit, getting their mail.
The death of every social media is when it gets popular enough that all the parents and grandparents gravitate to it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe that's what killed the Wii, man. All the old.
It was parents and grandparents being like, "This is kind of fun," and kids went, "What the fuck?
I can do yoga on a plastic little board. This is going to be amazing.
Stupidest shit I've ever seen."
Come on, kids, let's go bowling.
My great-grandma's playing this shit with me. I don't like it.
Yeah.
My fucking grandma never went, "Nintendo? Let me get a crack at that."
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It was crazy when they would come in, old people would come in and requesting a video game system. You know, it's just weird. And they don't understand the concept of console and games. They just think it's all like everything's pre-installed in the machine.
They just buy the game and they're like, bring it home,
like,
and
no.
there's somehow a player in there.
Yeah, I
put it in my DVD player and it doesn't work. It's like,
I just bought this Nintendo Wii, and I plugged it in, but I couldn't find where the games are.
you got to buy the game separate.
What? I spent this much on a video game system. I gotta buy the game separate.
yeah, and they're real expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, then they're like, holy shit. This is how they make their money.
You know what you live on per week, old lady? That's what one game costs. And you'll lose interest in it in about a month.
Yeah.
So,
And I mean, I guess renting them. Go to like Redbox and rent a game.
my grandma was rare in the fact that my uncle had gotten an Intellivision. Do you remember the Intellivisions?
Maybe.
It had like a cord, like your corded phone, and it looked like almost a cell phone with a cord to it. It had like a turn dial, kind of like the OG iPods.
Okay. It's
And
kind
then
of
it had keyboard.
all right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1 through 9, and like 2 directions. And there was like a battleship game where it went back and forth, and you shot this shit. My grandma would sit there for like, I'd be like, Grandma, can I get a turn? And she's like, I'm playing. Go do something else.
Yeah. And
Damn.
they'll get obsessed with the game.
But she never upgraded with
Yeah.
the Nintendo. She,
Yeah.
she found one
Yeah.
game that she found, and she was like, that's her shit.
My friend's dad, growing up, was like that with Tetris. Like he was obsessed with Tetris.
Brent's mom was.
Yeah.
And then what was the fucking Mario one with the little pills? Dr. Mario.
Dr. Mario? I don't
Yeah,
think I ever
she
played
loved that shit too.
Was that like Candy Crush?
Almost. I've never played Candy Crush, but I imagine if it's a matching
I
game
don't either. Yeah.
and shit disappears, then yes.
I don't know if I ever played Dr. Mario, but
It's like pills.
yeah, I
And they'd
understand.
be one color on either side, or the whole thing be one color, but
Yeah.
instead of Tetris, all the different shapes. They
But
were
it's
just,
like a board kind of a thing, right?
there'd be
Yeah.
obstacles and shit.
I guess. I don't know. I almost want to get a video game system again, but
That'd just be
cost
something
much.
else you'd get into and not want to fucking do.
and if you want to play it online, then you got to pay monthly unless you get the I mean, I'd get an Xbox.
Play online anymore, or pay to have it be online to even use the new systems. And in that case, if you're not playing online, you're wasting your money because
Yeah. Cuz I never got into the online. That started taking off when I still had my Xbox. You know, people were playing like the Call of Duties and Grand Theft Auto and shit. But I never really got into it. I like playing. It's just too much pressure for some reason. It's too stressed out, man, playing online.
And I don't really want someone I don't know talking shit.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I
it's like
understand
I
you
don't
can turn that off.
I want to play games, man. I don't want to be having a conversation with a 12-year-old or somebody pretending to be a 12-year-old.
Yeah, I fucking killed you again, you bitch. And
Yeah.
you're like, you
It's like, I know.
motherfucker. You're making this not fun.
I did love playing fucking god damn it, what was that game? Gear, was it
Metal
fuck-
Gear Solid.
No. It was
Gears of War?
Gears of War on Xbox, playing that with Justin, former co-host, and then another coworker. We would play horde mode where you're on a team, you get a level, it's just you three, and then there's just waves of bad guys and you have to try and survive. And like as you go, it gets more and more difficult. So much fun. I would get wasted, and by the end it would just be me like hiding in a corner screaming like, save me, they're gonna get me. Yeah, it was a lot of fun though.
Yeah, I used to play. I guess the only multiplayer like that I really ever got into was the original Gangster 007
On the what was that, GameCube?
and 64.
N64, yeah. GameCube.
And it was the first console with 4 plugins.
Yeah.
And you could play 4-player.
Yep.
But no one had a fucking TV big enough to where
No.
you really tell what the fuck was going on. Even 2-player, it was fucked up. Like,
Yeah, well, you're fucking splitting a shitty resolution TV into 4 squares. So
even
it's like
2
dog
squares
shit.
was fucking hard.
Yeah.
You just couldn't see shit.
Just TVs were shit then. TVs now it would be, even the same game would look way better, or at least a little bit
sure.
better. But can't afford that shit, man. Every once in a while, I'll play like an iPad game. I'm like an old person with my iPad games. I have like a few games that I like to play, and I just kind of, I'll go back to those every 6 months or whatever, reinstall it and play it again.
What game do you think you played the most ever?
I mean, recently it's
No, not now. I'm saying like ever.
fuck, man. I remember Final Fantasy, being obsessed with that. Me and my friend on PlayStation, we would stay up.
Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah, I think it's probably 7 on
Cloud
PlayStation.
and
Yeah,
the Chocobo
yep,
races and all that shit.
Yeah, we would spend just hours and hours and hours. Basically, like how people get obsessed with the game now, and days go by. We were like that, but it was like
my friend play Final Fantasy 7, which is even worse.
What's
Just
that?
watched him play. I watched my friend play that game.
That's what we did. We would switch off because it's a one. I don't even think it's a 2-player game, but we would switch off and we would watch it. But it was like there were times where we were just for hours just going through the globe because you didn't know what the next thing was you're supposed to do.
Oh, you didn't have the book?
No, we didn't have a book, and it was
Oh,
pre-internet.
We got the book, and
Yeah.
it was like
I
I
think we
almost
have-
was
yeah.
like in rally racing where you had that guy sitting right beside you telling you what the course is like.
Yeah.
I'm literally giving him
Yeah.
the blow by blow what he needs to do next. Like, and I'm like, no, you got to go to the Enchanted Forest, dumbass.
Yeah.
You need to find the key, and then the key, and then you got to go back to the fucking
You gotta
the one place. And
You gotta remember to use this potion to get your defense up because he's gonna attack right away. You gotta do that first, and then you do the magic spell, so you get 3 extra turns, and then you can get him. You stab him. You stab him in the armpit. That's where you gotta get him because you gotta wait. You gotta wait for Mike Tyson to blink, and then that's when you go with the sword into his armpit. That game was I probably played that one, but I remember doing that shit with the book. I think eventually we got the book.
you had to. You just get too pissed off.
Yeah. And
Even with the book, it takes forever.
yeah, I mean it's a great game, man. I mean it was a
It's
great
really
game
good
because it's
it
like
was the best
never
game
ending.
ever made up until that point.
yeah. I mean that was like PlayStation was you play a game off of a disc, like a CD.
And it's got like preloaded animations that it breaks into that look fucking badass.
Yeah.
And you could name your characters fucked up shit, which made the game even funner.
Yeah, but I probably didn't even make it fucked up shit.
Oh man, it was fun. We named like one guy Asshat, so they just keep. It like puts the name that you put into the story that it's telling in the print or whatever.
So and now today's version of that is your phone. Just giving yourself a nickname on your phone. That way Siri can, recognize you by your nickname or say your nickname when you ask her. I don't know. Right?
I don't know, man. I think the games kids now are playing are like because
I don't even know what kids are playing necessarily.
they're playing fucking Minecraft, dude.
That's true.
That's what they're
A lot of
playing,
kids are.
and that shit is dumb as compared to a Final Fantasy VII, which we were probably playing at the age these kids are loving Minecraft at.
I don't know, man. I've never played it, so I don't know what it might be fun. From what I've heard, it's like digital Legos. So, but I'm sure even more so than
I'd rather
that.
play with real Legos.
Maybe, but that's because we're old, bro. you just don't understand what the kids are into because
I never got into Sim City or anything like that either.
I got addicted to that for a little bit, man. I would have dreams. About how I was gonna manipulate my kid. That was a stupid game too. Like out of the games that I've been addicted to, Sims, not Sim City, not the roller coaster tycoon, just Sims where you're controlling a fake person and you're trying to keep his happiness meter and his cleanliness meter and his income meter. Like these, it's like the dumbest game. It's like you're wasting your life trying to make this little digital pet guy happy. But you could build a house. That was cool, and you could decorate the house and buy cool shit and like kind of do stupid shit. But yeah, I got addicted to that game for a bit.
I watched a documentary about like people addicted to that Second Life game, which is essentially the same fucking thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it's similar. I don't know how much. I don't know, man. That type of games, man. Just anything that involves too much. Like, I can never play an RPG now. I can't play this Final Fantasy, but those are the games.
Play a World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
And the reason is, like, I won't do it because it would not be good. I would end up fucking playing all the time. Just like Rogan talks about when he used to play
Doom.
Quake.
No, Quake. Yeah.
And yeah, man, there are certain games, and like right around when the games got to the point where you could play them like that, I think it's like right around when I got out of playing games.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. At least you're addicted to that. You would be addicted to that shit potentially. I just don't think I could get into a game like that. Like, I don't have the patience for it anymore.
Well, man, now that there's fucking like I used to get like almost motion sick, and I don't get motion sick, but from like first person shooters or fucking using the both joysticks to aim and fucking move my head and shit, and like I just get lost. Like Halo, I tried to play Halo a few times, and I was just like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. I can't see anything.
Yeah,
I just never got used to it and just was like, fuck it.
Medal of Honor was another game I got addicted to with a roommate of mine, and we would just fucking play that thing all the time. And that was like the first few versions of that game, so early. I think it was still PlayStation. That was a fun game though. But I like that, man. Like when you get used to those joysticks and you kind of float around. It's kind of fun. But
I'd say the game that I played the most in my life is Contra.
Contra, I probably played that a lot too.
I played it enough to where I could win without using the cheat.
I don't know if I remember playing that game, but I don't know how good I got at it. Contra, I think I saw something I don't know if it was a reboot of the game or they're making a movie. Something
every time they made
that.
another Contra past the original Contra, it sucked.
Which one was that? Was that the one where you're going just up the screen where it just kind of pans, kind of like that?
There's different levels. Like you start the first level, a lot. Some of them you move left to right.
Every time you jump, you do a roll, like a barrel, or like a
you flip in the air.
Yeah. Okay.
And then there are certain levels where you're going straight down a hallway.
Really?
But no, like each hallway would be a new level, and you had to go shoot out the little blinking lights, and then the force field would open, and then you could go through.
Yeah. And
then there were ones where you'd have to jump up, like keep going up.
Yeah. Kind of like Metroid.
It had
almost.
Different levels, but
I was thinking of one. There was one where it's kind of like that. I don't know, it's 1492 or something. Not 1492. It's
that was
the airplane one. Yeah, that like that, but it was with Jeeps.
There was one,
but I don't know if that was
called Akari Warriors.
Maybe that
you could get into tanks every once in a while.
Maybe.
And
fuck, man, this is a long time ago. I'm surprised any of those brain cells are still in existence.
Akari Warriors was another game where there was a little cheat.
Yeah.
And it was every time you died, if you hit ABBA, this fucking guy comes back.
Yeah. That was cool, though. I remember that shit when you could, like, the up, down, left, right shit. Mm-hmm. All that stuff was... It's crazy that's... You had a little rectangular controller with a shitty D-pad on it, 2 buttons, and select and a start. And you were able to do all kinds of shit with it. Kind of.
Man, that fucking direction pad did suck, though, for certain things.
Dude, it all kind of sucked. But I'm surprised it fucking held up, though.
The track and field game, to throw, like, the hammer, you had to, like, go in a circle on the direction pad.
Oh yeah.
It's almost fucking impossible to do it.
Yeah.
So me and my friend figured out that if you took a pencil with an eraser
Just in the middle.
and put it right in the middle and went like that, you
Joystick.
just rock it.
You could
Yeah,
get.
we invented. Well, we didn't invent the joystick.
Yeah. You reinvented the joystick.
Yes.
Yeah. There were like attachments where you can put. I remember they had that for Game Boy where you could put it in a case and it had like a magnifying glass, 2 fold-out speakers, and then the D-pad had a little. I think it had a joystick on it.
I
It's
had the fucking
crazy.
I had the stand-up controller, the one with the joystick
Oh
and the
yeah.
buttons.
Yeah. For
Nintendo.
Yeah. I remember playing with that one too. It was kind of cheap though.
And but
They had
yeah,
the bigger
it was
buttons
cheap
on it.
because you could use turbo
Yeah, that's right.
certain buttons.
That was awesome for Mario.
Fuck yeah, man! But
Or-
it was
Yeah.
any fighting game. I used to use it with Top Gun, which maybe was the best
one-
airplane game.
You have to land it at the end of
You
the
had to land
yeah.
and you had to
Refuel in midair.
That was fucking hard.
Yeah.
It was fun too.
Yeah, it was. I remember that fucking game, man. I think I think a cousin of mine borrowed or took that and then ended up buying me the second one. And the second one was, I don't think it was as fun. Still Nintendo though. But yeah, man, that was a fun game.
That was fucked up too because man, like the first gaming systems, whatever movie came out, I mean, they still do it now to a certain extent, but
Oh
like
yeah.
you could tell that was just a jet game that they just put Top Gun.
Oh yeah.
Like it had nothing to do with the people in the movie or anything like that,
Yeah. I mean, it was
except
just
for there were Russian planes that you were blowing up.
yeah. Instead of like the movie studio designing the game or having more control over it, they just licensed the property to some gamer or some company and they put it together. I remember the Star Wars game on Nintendo was like, I don't think I ever figured out how to actually play that game.
There were
But-
quite a few games that I never figured
Yeah.
out. Like I was like, I don't get this at all.
Yeah.
A Boy and His Blob was one that was fucking. I never got through that game.
Shit, I don't remember that one at all. I remember like Paperboy and shit like that. Pitfall. Pitfall. was
Pitfall
fun.
never really ended.
No, and that's like a super. It's like, I don't know, man. Just, it was tough, man. It really scarred me. It was a very difficult yet simple game. Just yeah, you'd fall down all the time into pits.
All the time.
And there were alligators and snakes. It was tough.
Scorpions.
I mean, just a lot of stuff you don't want to run into in the wild. It's very, very dangerous.
Lot of pits
I know.
in
The
Pitfall.
vines, you have to grab onto vines all the time. You know, probably an early inspiration for masturbation for me.
Was the fucking controller handled so shitty on Atari?
I mean,
like,
yeah.
you'd be like, I hit fucking jump. Why did you jump?
It's only
like,
one
yeah,
button too, right? They just had
Only
one
one
button.
button.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
joystick and one button.
yeah. This was before you reinvented the joystick.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'd almost like I wouldn't mind getting. You know how they have just the controller and you plug it into your TV and you get all the games. I wouldn't mind getting something like that.
My
Although
buddy
I probably
had the track and field pad.
the
you
the
could-
Twister board almost didn't it
Yep.
look like Twister the map.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Nintendo was like way ahead of the game with that shit. They had the Power Glove. They had
The gun?
the map, the gun. Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy that they were able to do some kind of technology where the gun interfaces with the TV.
Whatever TV too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that was. I still to this day I'm like I don't really get it, but it worked.
I think what would happen when you pulled the trigger, wherever the target that you're trying to hit would like flash, and if the
Yeah.
gun saw the flash, then it would log it as a hit. I think this is just me coming up with a theory.
What all games did you play with the gun?
Oh, I don't know if I played anything besides Duck Hunt. Were there other games? I don't remember playing. I remember fucking playing the fuck out of Duck Hunt though. Like I had a belt and I'd put the thing and I'd even hide behind the couch and be like, you know, I'd be quick draw,
Like, oh, here they come. Here
I
they
tried
come.
to beat it at every level by holding the gun right up on the TV and being like,
yeah.
bow, 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 bow.
That's cheat.
Bow, bow,
That's
bow,
cheat
bow.
shit, though. That's
Yeah, but
cheat.
I just wanted to see if there was a last level, and there wasn't.
There wasn't.
No, that was another one. There wasn't. But there was one awesome game that I played with the gun. It was called Gotcha Paintball.
All right. Paintball. I didn't
Yeah,
even
it
think paintball was around then.
Fuck yeah, it was. It was like a new thing, but it was cool. I really enjoyed that game. There were different there was like snow levels and like urban levels. It was like literally like someone set up a paintball field. Now, I've been to fields like this where there's just different areas, different setups. Gotcha Paintball.
So I've never done paintballing. Never been paintballing.
I used to be real into it. I've got a couple guns and shit.
It got really although I don't know, maybe just my age range. I remember I was probably high school, I think. It got really popular, if I remember. Like, I remember a lot of people doing it or getting them. You know, a lot of kids had their
It's
paintball
expensive
guns.
to play, man.
Yeah.
The balls cost a lot. I
why I
mean, the
never got into
equipment's a lot too. I had a friend probably spent over $1,000 on equipment.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure I knew some people that spent that much too, which is
get that
ridiculous.
High action gun with the double trigger, where like the professionals, they don't just pull a trigger as many times. There's a double trigger where they learn to like scissor their fingers real fast back and forth.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it might as well be a machine gun.
Yeah.
Because they just learn how to do that finger back and forth real quick.
Didn't they just
and
make
shoot?
automatic?
Yeah, there's you can have a full auto or like go on like so many ball bursts.
Yeah.
Like when I played with all my friends, this one fucking guy, he has a whole ghillie suit, and that's like the sniper suit where they go lay in a field and you can't see him.
Uh-huh.
And his gun was also like full auto. So you'd be like fucking going through
So
the
he
woods.
was an asshole is what you're saying.
Oh yeah. So you'd be going through the woods and like creeping it hardcore, and then all of a sudden you'd hear blah, and it just made like a one loud noise, but you could tell it was his gun because everyone else's goes pop 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 pop.
Yeah.
And his just goes blah blah, and you like you start running and cringing because you know if one hits you're gonna get fucking pegged by like 4 or 5.
It's not even like paint balls. It's just a super soaker filled with paint. And he just kind of sprays it. It's like, see, there's paint on you.
That's like the
Had to get you.
flamethrower.
Yeah.
Do people have like paint grenades,
Yeah.
knives? Like people, it was a big market.
Yeah. I bet.
There's places that make a lot of money off that shit.
I'm sure. I bet first person shooters hurt that business.
Oh, totally.
Totally.
But the flip side is, obviously, for people that have never been in a war situation, like that feels way more real than you playing a game.
Yeah.
Because
although some
guess
of those
what? Paintballs hurt like fuck.
Yeah,
they'll
they
leave
do.
welts. They'll cut skin. If you're not wearing a mask, it'll shoot your fucking eye out or knock your teeth out.
Yeah.
Break your nose, whatever. So you know it hurts.
Yeah.
You know you're not gonna die, but
There
it's
is
still
some
like,
pain involved.
fuck yeah, man. If like, all right, let's say you playing fucking Call of Duty with your buddy, and if you die, you have to let him throw a fucking rock at your head or something. You're like, well, you lost.
Doesn't
You're
have
like,
to be
fuck,
at the head.
man.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
playing real hard not to lose if
But-
the end game was getting fucking busted in the face with the rock.
True. But there is an excitement when you're playing a really good first person shooter and you're like immersed in the game and you're like in this completely different, like we're going through buildings and stuff like that. Like you can't, I'm sure there's super elaborate paintball
I've
setups.
been to places where
Yeah.
it's exactly that,
Yeah.
and I'm telling you, it doesn't get more intense. You can say it's intense on a video game,
Yeah, I've never played.
but
I've never
when your
done
fucking
it.
face mask is fogging up and
Yeah.
you're breathing hard because you just had to sprint through the woods and you lost your buddy because he got shot back there, and you know that you're surrounded and you know you're not getting out of here without getting fucking shot. It's just how
Yeah.
many guys can I take out, and hopefully they don't hit me in an exposed area of my neck.
Yeah, that's when you have the special Taliban paint vest.
I got fucking shot in the dick and the throat in the exact same time.
You run out and it's just paint cans all pointed outwards, and you just run out and you hit the button and just start spraying paint everywhere in all directions. But it doesn't hit you because it's fucking paint. And spray cans, it's directional, highly directional. You don't have to worry about it. Just saying, you know.
You could be the asshole at the paintball game that just brings like giant house cans of paint and throws them.
It's like, bro, the fucking is cheaper.
It's a paint nuke.
Yeah. Don't get mad at my superior technology, all right? Jesus.
Like, the fucking kid knocked me out. They're like, whoa, did it open up? They're like, no. We're like, well, you're still in.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up, pussy.
That was a dud.
Threw the wrong can. That one tried out yesterday. Got to take him out of the car. That's what I got to remember. Take him out of the car. Well, you know, at least there'd probably be a lot less obesity problems if first-person shooters weren't so good, because then more people would be doing paintball and actually moving instead of sitting on a couch. Right?
Yeah, I just think that it costs too much and kids are lazy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, how much do you spend? I mean, video games are not cheap either. So
I'd say per time we went out, it would be at least $20.
yeah, but and then
At the very
equipment
least.
and everything. Yeah.
And that's not driving somewhere or like,
But you can
all the money that
play-
it costs for the equipment.
You don't have to go to a course necessarily to play.
No, we went to a buddy's house.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
we
I
had
knew.
set up our own course in his parents' backyard.
Yeah.
Not their backyard, they had a woods.
Yeah.
That already had some paths through it. And so it was legit. Like, we set up, there was like a shed back there. There was different things to hide behind. There's different, paths veered off and came back around.
Yeah.
So it was legit. But even then, just buying balls and CO2,
Oh yeah.
and and whatever else, everyone find a new little knickknack and oh man, check this out, I got a new hopper for my gun. And
Shit's not gonna fucking jam up like that cheap one I had, man.
because that shit happened, you buy
know.
something stock and then all of a sudden you're there and your shit starts malfunctioning and you look over your buddy and he spent that extra $20 to get that fucking cool hopper and his shit never fucking locks up. So you're like, I gotta get me one of those because
Yeah.
this shit's getting I got shot like 18 times because my fucking piece of shit didn't work.
Yeah. If only my gun was better, I wouldn't suck so much. I remember people
mean the-
complaining about that shit though.
Me and this other dude would always play. We would always duel, which was fun.
Like just standing. Would you do
No,
the paces?
10 paces.
Uh-huh.
Or I think we did 20.
Uh-huh.
10's still kind of close, or 15. And you only keep one ball in your gun.
Okay. And you do the 10, 20 paces, turn and shoot. Right when you turn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't like just like 1, 2, 3, and
You're
you
just
can't
standing
pull it
for-
out and
yeah.
shoot because it's they're big.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're swinging from the hip and just being like, "Fuck."
Dude, I remember. Did you ever play Red Dead Revolver?
No,
Rockstar.
I know
game.
what it was,
Yeah.
but
I played the first one. I never played the other one, but it had a feature where it was like a slow motion thing, and you were drawing, and you'd have to like with the thumb thing get it and hit the trigger at the right. It was kind of a fun feature. It had built into it to kind of make the draw, and it was tough because you had like a very small amount of time to get the cursor to where you needed to get and pull the trigger. It's kind of a fun game. That was probably one of those last games. That was first Xbox, the black one.
I thought that was the second one.
Maybe it was. Maybe
I'm
it
almost
was.
positive.
Yeah, maybe it was.
Xbox 360.
Yeah, maybe it was because I did have the 360.
Because I remember watching my buddy play it, and he had a 360 back then, and I was like, I don't got this shit.
But it was the first. It wasn't the second one though. I don't know. It was a fun game though, and that draw feature was pretty fun. But I don't know. I heard the sequel was better. Red Dead Redemption or something like that.
I don't know. Like I said, man, I'm glad. It's fun to reminisce about fun games, but I'm
Yeah.
glad that I haven't.
I know.
That's not something I'm super into.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I kind of wish I was into it. I wish I had just like a second life that I could live in addition to like this life I'll do certain things and then this other life I'll just play video games all the time. I don't know. It seems fun.
Instead of fucking making
Instead of
art,
doing shit,
and-
instead of producing podcasts and making
You're like,
art.
yeah, but I mean, it would be super fun.
It
Like,
would be really
to
fun
me,
to
this is my
unplug.
second life.
That's true. That's true. For me, it pretty much is, man. I don't fucking. It's.
I don't talk to people I know here about what I do on this
That's true. I don't talk to people anymore.
at all.
You're the only person I talk to for like the last probably close to a month.
Well, the
I mean, I've texted
dispensary
people.
guy, you got to talk to him, right?
Dispensary chicks, hot chicks. There's no guys. They know how to staff those places, man. It's always young, cute, super stoned chicks. So yeah, but it's like I'm not having conversations with them. I'm just like,
You should. You should show it to him.
show it to them?
Show it to him.
Show it to them. I don't know if that would necessarily help my cause. I mean, I do like making people laugh. So,
What if it did? What if it worked?
I mean, maybe it would. I mean, they'd probably just throw me the fuck out. Like, oh, we had another one. I don't know why they go into a dispensary and take their dick out. I don't know why they do that.
And with the lack of available dispensaries in your area, you might not want to get kicked out of the one that you're going to now.
Well, the one I'm going to, I used to go more to downtown area. This one's closer to where I live, so I think they've been open. I don't think they have to deal with the same shit that the guys downtown or closer to the downtown area have to deal with. Because I think this is like the longest I've been going to the same place. Seemed like 2 times, and I have to go find a new place. So it's tough, man. It's tough. Go in. It's like, what's the
So
special
I'm
today?
wondering in Colorado if does anyone need to get a medical marijuana license
I think
anymore?
it's cheaper. I think you can. I think if you have medical, it's cheaper, possibly.
Because I'm gonna have to look into that because I've never had a card.
I
I
mean-
believe your card is valid there.
I mean, it might be, but what?
But
it's
I'm
legal.
just
It's like,
saying.
I don't
like,
need it.
Hey, if it's cheaper, like why?
Well, but you have to pay.
You still have to pay your
Yeah,
yearly.
every year to go to a doctor. I don't think it's that much cheaper, and I'm sure just depending on where you go, but maybe you get different. I don't know. Who knows what the differences are? But I think that's what it is. I'm not too worried. I mean, getting the fucking license, you just go make an appointment, pay $50. They ask you what's wrong with you. Why do you need weed? And it's
Show them scars. Like,
well, it's
see this?
I mean, weed does it fucking sleep. Like, I have no problem sleeping anymore. It's really rare. Back pain, no issues with that as much as I was having. Anxiety and all that kind of shit. So it has done, it's done what I told the doctor, which is funny when I go in there because I go to the same doctor because it's just easier. And they're like, is it the same shit? It's like, yeah, same shit. Even though it's like not the same shit because, it's like it alleviates all of those things. So it doesn't really, but I still need to smoke it because without that, it's just going to come back. It hasn't cured the problem. It's just helped with the inflammation and everything.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
I'm scared about like ever being in a position where I can't have medicine.
Yeah.
Because my fucking hands already feel like a 90-year-old's.
Yeah.
And the last time I quit for a while, I quit for like 10 days.
Uh-huh.
And fuck, man. I was just like where I don't notice it almost ever. Like I noticed tightness, but it's not like it was an achy pain. It was weird. And I was like, fuck, man.
Dude, That's the best thing I do whenever my back starts, especially doing all this fucking work I'm doing around the house because I'm like in weird positions, and, not doing the best. A lot of horrible back support kind of positions. So I'll just eat an edible, and then once that kicks in, like that relaxes me more than anything. And then I'll get on my roller, because if I get on my roller normal or just smoking, then it definitely helps. But my muscles are still like all contracted because I'm in pain. But with the edible, the muscles, I can relax them way easier. So it's ridiculous. Like I feel amazing. The next day I wake up and it's like no pain, little sore just from rolling everything out. But shit's awesome. Especially, back pain's a motherfucker, man. Especially lower back pain.
That's what I've been dealing with that for since school, high school. There would be times like every year for scoliosis check, I had to go get a second check every year, and every year they're like, "It's not right, but it's not scoliosis," and I'm like,
"It's not fucked up enough for us to care."
Yeah, I'm like, "Well, what the fuck does that mean?" They're like, "Well, you're probably gonna have a sore back," and I was like if I'd fall asleep at a desk, I'd be fucking wrecked for the rest of the day. Just that weird seated position and why? I get maybe you want the kids to stay awake, but having to learn in a horribly uncomfortable chair.
Oh, you're talking about school. I was like, what are you talking about?
For no reason.
Yeah, there's no comfort to those fucking chairs.
Why?
Well, the worst part of which I don't know if it still exists today with iPads and shit, was carrying. We didn't have lockers at my school. I've never had lockers. Lockers don't exist in Southern California because everything's and there's no hall. Like everything's outside. The classrooms are inside, but like when you leave a classroom, you look up, there's sky.
What if it's raining?
It's Southern California. It does
rain every once in a while.
Every once in a while, then you get a little wet going to your next class.
Oh my fuck!
You bring an umbrella. It's so rare. It's like
Why would you bring an umbrella if it never happens?
Well, if you wake up and it's cloudy, I'm pretty sure you can kind of figure out maybe I'll need an umbrella. If it's already raining.
Why would you even have an umbrella if it only rains like twice a year?
People buy shit that only happens every once in a while, man. I'm just saying.
True. People have a lot of Christmas decorations and that shit.
So, people can be prepared for it. So I never had a locker. So carrying around books all the time in a backpack is what fucks up. I still don't get
why you wouldn't have a locker.
Because they don't have lockers. I don't know. So I've never had a locker.
I've seen plenty of those fucking L.A.
Yeah, watch any TV show. Watch any TV show.
They got lockers even if they're outdoor.
Yeah, nothing in. I've never had a locker for school. I never had a locker at work, but they had work lockers where you can get a locker. So I don't know
why this is fucking perturbing me so much, but you have to have a locker. Where the fuck do you keep all your shit?
Your backpack. That's why it fucks up people's backs.
Don't get me wrong. We all had that problem too, but we still have a locker.
Yeah, well, it's different.
We had lockers big enough you could stick people in lockers.
Yeah, but you're in a weather climate where it snows. It's not like outdoors. It's all inside, So
but still, all right, if you fucking play sports, where'd you put your gym clothes?
They had lockers in the locker rooms.
Holy shit! Then you're lying to me.
Oh well, you don't get to. It's not your locker. It's like whoever's has PE for that day is their locker. So it's not like you don't keep your gym clothes. I don't really remember actually the gym clothes thing. I think you had to take it with you. Maybe you got a locker, but it wasn't a locker where it's not like a locker you could keep your shit in, because you can't be in there unless you're in PE that period. It's all outdoors, bro. I'm just telling you.
I did whatever I wanted in my school.
I kind of did too towards the end.
Especially my senior year.
Yeah.
My senior year was my giant FU. I literally only had 4 classes, and then I got to leave to go to work. For the first half of that year, I was an office aide on my open period. So I go around
and you're still doing receptionist work. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You changed so much since high school.
Here's the flip side. The girl, there was always 2 people per period that would be aides for the office. And it was me and this other girl who was like a goody-goody, kind of, except she left every day during being an office aide and drove around and smoked cigarettes.
What a bad girl.
And I was like, and she'd always try to get me to go. And while I was mouthy and I would get in trouble every once in a while, I never got suspended, but I was that guy who pushed it
You saw where
as far as he could
Yeah.
and then knew right where to pull it back. So, like, usually I wouldn't even get in trouble, but sometimes I'd still get a Saturday school.
Yeah.
But she was a cute girl too. So, like, what am I going to be, a pussy and be like, nah, I don't want to get in trouble? I'm like, sure.
You got cooties. I'm gonna get
My
cooties.
dad
and suspended.
my dad worked for the street department.
The street department.
Yeah, like public works.
Okay. So you like fix roads or something like that?
Like sewers and
Okay.
public parks and
Okay.
just, the upkeep of the little village, pretty much.
Yeah.
But they all had work trucks and drove around. I don't know how many times we passed either his workers or him, and I'm like ducking down in the front seat, like. Oh man. But besides that, like in my school, like I don't know how many times I just like went somewhere I probably wasn't supposed to be. It's super old school. Just go hide somewhere or like for
You were the kid in the fucking Never-Ending Story.
Yeah, pretty much.
You found the attic with the.
I was a senior and not like 12.
But you had such a boyish charm at that age that it was basically the same thing. And you found candles and you light them and you're under a blanket reading.
I remember
This is storm comes.
for senior pictures, like not even just senior pictures, but just yearbook pictures. Over the loudspeaker, they'd call out certain club names.
Yeah.
And then everyone from that club would have to go down into the auditorium or
Wherever they were taking the pictures.
wherever they were in the pictures.
Yeah.
And so I would just leave. They would like Spanish club. I'm like, that's me.
Totally. See?
And drama club. That's me.
Yes, that is me.
French club. That's me too.
We.
I will show you my senior yearbook. I am in.
Oh, you actually
Like-
went to get the photos taken?
I went and I snuck in.
And nobody was like, I've never seen this motherfucker at one meeting.
Even if they did, no one said shit. Or I was like,
That's true.
hey, I'm sneaking in on this picture.
I guess
And
like
so like
maybe you just wouldn't know.
there's
Clubs.
such big pictures.
Yeah.
But like when they put it in the yearbook or whatever, they put everyone's name.
So you were everywhere
My
in the
name's
yearbook.
in every one
Yeah.
of them, but I was never in like.
Looked
I think
like
there's 3 clubs that I did that to.
You
my
go back
senior
to
year.
the index and you're like, he's Spurlock, and you're on 20. It's like your whole
Yeah,
chunk of pages
I had
that
like
you're on.
a block.
It's like, wow, he was active in school. He was
Fuck no! I had 3 actual classes and 1 study hall, and then I was the fuck out. But I just did whatever I wanted.
Mail the
I got kicked
yearbook.
out of being an office aide. Not for leaving and smoking cigarettes, but because I used to hang out and the teacher that tried to pay me to have sex with his wife.
Yeah.
I used to hang out in his classroom, just bullshit. This is pre-offer.
Pre-offer, yeah. This is where
he
he was
waited until I
like,
graduated to get creepy with me.
he was just kind. He was like, oh, I'm gonna keep Keith. I'm gonna put a pin in that one. Gonna ask him
I was
later.
teacher's aide for like 4 years.
Yeah. I
So
had
he
a
was
teacher.
grooming me.
Yeah, I had a teacher that was that I'd go ditch to, and he was the graphic art teacher, and I'd go in there and we would film. Me and a buddy, we would film the morning announcements. But he had a deal worked out with some fucking teacher, like economics or something like that. So we got A's, like and we never had to go to the class. So we just go in and film the morning announcements on like super old equipment and like I think there was a green screen, maybe not. That was kind of my first introduction to video production.
Like Tron
Yeah,
style fucking.
It was like
stuff.
I remember I think we were doing work for somebody. We were editing a wedding video, and it was like VHS or maybe it was high 8 tapes, and we used adapters. But it was back in VHS, DVDs and shit, digital, watching video and digital. Austin Powers was the first movie that was like the bootleg Like everybody was down. That's where everybody found out about Austin Powers. The first one was everybody downloading it illegal. That was like the first movie, I think. That and The Matrix. But yeah, we were editing some fucking, some wedding video, but it was all like tape to tape shit. It's crazy. It's old shit. You couldn't do shit. Like it's so everything is so much easier to do now. It's ridiculous.
I remember my keyboarding class, which essentially it's typing.
Yeah.
And but I remember that's where I first figured out cut, copy, paste.
Yeah.
And dude, I can't even explain how much I cheated through high school.
Oh yeah.
And again, I wasn't the guy that wrote little tiny notes, or I didn't write on my skin or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I never did homework. I just copied other people's homework.
Yeah. Yep.
And there was one test where we had that elaborate poke me in the back for once for A, twice for B, and so on.
Yeah.
But I still just fucking copy paste through my way through keyboarding class. Any shortcut I could take.
Yeah.
I fucking took it.
Fuck yeah, man. I mean, that's what you learn in school. If you're going to learn anything, you learn how to cut corners on shit.
I learned how to game the system.
Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much, I mean, unless you're into that shit, but it's like school's memorizing bullshit. It's just all memorization shit.
It's
and I
a
hate
totally valid
memorizing.
fucking thing to learn, though.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you
Like,
want to
I
know how
literally
to,
think that
yeah.
learning that in school has obviously it's a fucking receptionist, so it's not like I'm making big money. But I guarantee you, if I wanted to be in that corporate world and I went out and just fucking applied for nothing but those jobs, I could bullshit my way into plenty of fucking jobs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But that's just because I learned I'm good at talking, and I can read people. I can tell people what they want to hear. Like, you learn shit like that through school. Some people don't learn it, obviously.
No. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. Everybody learns different too. Like, there's some shit that clicks with me instantly, and then somebody else, they're completely lost. So it's like, how are you gonna figure out a way to make 30 people understand something with one person?
The exact same way.
Yeah,
it's
like
stupid.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, whatever.
I think eventually there'll be ways to test kids, like very early, to see how they learn, and then there'll be different types of schooling options for them.
I mean, that's one thing as far as like a quote unquote industry that still hasn't changed yet with the times. School, like education.
It has,
just
in the fact that the internet is really
but it's
everyone's got iPads. Imagine how easy. Just think about how easy schoolwork would have been with the fucking internet.
Oh yeah,
because we were all like,
Wikipedia.
Man, if we could only fucking steal the answer book,
copying answers.
Every once in a while we did.
Yeah,
but the internet has all the answers.
Yeah,
all the time.
Yeah.
It's like back when they were like, all right, we'll let you use a calculator for this one.
Yeah. Show your work. You got to show your work.
Let me. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I got this app that shows the work and it does the math problem. Oh, and I looked up every answer and it told me what it was. Like in those tests that you could use the calculator but had to show your work. Why can't you just use your fucking smartphone and Google?
Yeah.
And be like, here it is. It's right here.
Siri, can you look this shit up for me?
This is the answer right here.
Yeah.
How do I know? Well, because I referenced it.
Yeah. I mean, you could learn fucking anything you want without ever having to go to a school.
So much from Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know how many times I've been listening to a podcast and they'll reference something. I'll pause the podcast and instantly look up whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I know what they're talking about, and it puts it into context.
Yeah, like a video, if they're talking about a video or some shit.
Just anything. Like even a topic where I'm like, I kind of think I know about that, but let me look it up. And then you're like, oh, it's this and that.
Which is,
If I want to look it up, I instantly retain whatever that was.
Yeah.
As opposed to...
Because you're doing it
up and it's like, I don't give a fuck about this.
Being told what to do is like, for me, is the worst thing. Like that, I just want to do the opposite. Like I do not, like I'm stubborn and I don't give a shit. Like anytime people tell me what to do, it's like, no. It's like you make me want to make me want to keep doing whatever the fuck I'm doing more by trying
I've
to tell
jokingly
me.
said for years, and I don't like every time someone tells me to do something, and just jokingly I will respond back, "Don't tell me how to live my fucking life."
Yeah.
In my head, that's really though like whatever I've felt my entire life between jobs and school. It's like Jesus fucking Christ! Don't tell me how to live my fucking life.
Yeah.
Get off me. I'll learn what I want to learn,
It's like, I'll do this on my own time. Don't force
and
me.
then I just won't do it.
Yeah. That's my own time. Never. It's a very
Never.
long... Listen, just because I die before I'm able to get to it doesn't mean it's not still on my to-do list. Just couldn't get to it, bro. Can't get to everything. You only have so much time in a day. Can't do everything. Every once in a while, you got to take a shit. You got to fucking masturbate, maybe get some pussy or get some dick, depending on what you're into, you know, or both. Who knows? At the same time, it could be a room, pussies and dicks. You just jump in like Scrooge
At the
McDuck's
same time.
swimming through dicks and pussies. All right, let's take a break.
All right.
Let's take a break. We'll come back and see if Periscope's still recording. I'm surprised this shit is still going, too. Anyway. All right. Be right back, people.
Caught here in a fireplace, won't lose my will to stay. I tried to drive all through the night, the heat so gritty weather, the barren empty sight. No oasis here to say
Katy Perry and Avenged Sevenfold. Bat Country Girls. I don't even remember. Avenged Sevenfold fan, Keith? Is that some of your jams?
Some of the early stuff was all right, but they're a little too emo for me.
Were they? I think I downloaded one of their albums before I moved, so like early 2000s.
Yeah, that's around where they were touring with Mushroom Head for a while, so...
Really? That was like, I remember Stained was a popular band. That one slow song they did was really... I had MTV for
It's been a while.
Yeah. Dude, I like that song, man. The song reminds me of that. That's one of those songs that transplants me back into that time, man.
Man, for me, like, there's one specific summer that I remember, and it's probably because I had to move in with my dad from my mom, but 94 is when, like, Green Day's Dookie
Oh yeah.
and Soundgarden's Black Hole Sun came out.
Was that around? That was probably around
94.
Rage. Was that Rage Against the Machine time
Rage
too?
just started.
I remember that shit. Middle school?
But
Was that middle school time?
That for me was 13. I'd have been in 7th grade or going into 8th grade.
Okay.
And
I
yeah,
remember
that
shit.
and I don't like most songs when I hear them. I can't tell you the exact year,
Yeah.
but for some reason, like that,
Oh yeah.
those two songs that summer, whatever, that to me sticks out.
I don't always know the year, but it like I'll know like what grade. I have no idea how old I was for each grade. Like I have fucking no idea.
The only reason I know that's because I know how old I was when I moved in with my dad.
Oh, okay, that would make sense. Yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's a cool thing. It's like it's time travel light, listening to old music.
Korn's Follow the Leader.
Korn. I remember Korn.
Takes me back to cruising around and eating acid and smoking weed in my buddy's Mercury Cougar.
Yeah. Did you ever? Was the same time as Limp Bizkit?
Oh, $3 bill, y'all.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, that album. Still to this day, I don't give a fuck what Limp Bizkit is to everyone else, but that album is fucking front to back a good album.
Dude, I stuck with them for the next couple albums after that, which definitely changed.
Starfish I even tried,
Yeah.
and there was a couple on there that I could deal with.
Yeah. That was probably the last one, Chocolate Starfish, and then the album after that was the one where he did like what was that song that he did where the video is him singing to what's her name? She was in, I think
Christina Aguilera.
No, doesn't matter. But yeah, those were the rap rock, Kid Rock. I remember. Yeah,
New metal is what
rap rock. Yeah, rap metal.
New metal.
Yeah,
Spelled N-U.
Is it really?
New metal.
Oh man, yeah. I was. I think I bought because my Honda Accord at the time had a tape deck, and I bought the only cassette or the last cassette I ever bought was a Limp Bizkit, and I'm pretty sure it was the $3 bill. Pretty sure.
Did you ever
Which was
listen to
weird.
Snot?
I had that. I downloaded them like Napster days.
Yeah.
And I have one album of theirs, and I
They only
confused
had
it.
one album, really.
Oh, did they? It's the one with the tennis ball in the dog's mouth.
That is
Yeah.
a fucking awesome album.
Yeah. I listened to it a few times, but I never got into them. That was the time where I kind of started listening more to I was listening to a lot of ska and a lot of punk kind of stuff. So I wasn't listening to as much of the metal-y stuff.
Fuck your Real Big Fish.
I fucking love them, man. I broke a rib at one of their concerts. It was them and Goldfinger
Oh, Goldfinger.
and somebody else.
I had
forget
that
who.
album.
Oh, Goldfinger's awesome, man. Fucking
They
love.
fell off.
I mean, they all just. I don't know if they're probably still making money and doing shit. I know Real Big Fish. They still have albums that come out. Like they're still doing shit. It's just not popular anymore. Although it'll probably come back around. Probably come back around pretty soon. actually.
The only Real Big Fish song that always plays in my head is the one from Basketball, and it was also in Tony Hawk.
Is that Sellout?
Here I am, doing everything I can, holding on to what I am.
That's Goldfinger.
Superman.
That's Goldfinger.
That's Goldfinger?
Yeah.
I'm getting
Same
them mixed
thing.
up.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. It's like doesn't sound like Real Big Fish at all.
Wait a second. What was they were in Basketball?
They probably had it was probably Sellout. I mean, that was their big song. But
I don't know. Like I said, they all kind of blurred together. If it was something that I was kind of into, but not really.
yeah. But
I
that's
think it's all dependent on what your other friends were kind of into too.
yeah.
'Cause
Oh, for
each
sure.
one of us would bring something slightly different, but we were all kind of into the same shit.
Yeah, that time I was, well, at least late in high school, I was into art. So like the art and like higher level art classes. So I was around like kind of like there were guys listening to PlayStation, the soundtracks, because you just take the game out, put it in a CD player, and you just listen to the music. They would listen to that shit all the time. But then,
Plus it had a weird fucking screen that bounced to the music.
what are you talking about?
PlayStation. did
PlayStation?
that.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Dude, PlayStation. I almost want to get a PlayStation. Yeah. And then, like, one of the guys was listening to was a big ska dude. So, and he was a fucking good artist, too. So I was like, I guess
I want to be like that dude.
Yeah, but I liked it. And I started wearing Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah, I've seen the picture.
Yeah, that's right. And I was thin too, so
Yeah, that's the word. You wore fat clothes when you were skinny.
yeah. They were comfortable, man. I don't know. I was like, it was different. I was different. I started a trend.
But why don't you wear the fat clothes now?
Because I'm in denial. That's right.
So when I was skinny, I didn't give a fuck, so I'd wear whatever. But now that I'm fat, I'm like, I ain't wearing fat.
Dude,
Fuck you.
a nice fucking Hawaiian shirt made of
Tommy
like
Bahama?
rayon. Yeah, I don't think I ever Tommy Bahama, but like you get a rayon Hawaiian shirt. That shit feels good, man. It's like silk. It's like so comfortable. A good Hawaiian shirt. Then there's some that feel like just paper. They're dog shit. They're
I
usually
think
like the
if you
faded
continue
ones.
to wear those shirts, though, you just kind of look like Ricky from the Trailer Park Boys.
Probably, yeah. I mean, when you're a kid, it's one thing. Like if I was wearing Hawaiian shirts in my 20s, I have a problem. If I was still doing that shit in my 20s, that there's something wrong with me.
We're the same age, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it was nationwide. Did biker shorts catch on where you were as a kid?
Like what? Like kid is kind of a broad. I remember
Being like 8.
I remember-
and
okay,
the
what grade is that?
Fucking rayon shorts.
Is that the
with
same time as like Dookie? And is that the same time frame as those albums too?
A little bit earlier, but this
Okay.
is straight spandex biker shorts.
Yeah, I
But-
remember it.
But not with shorts over them, like
Just spandex.
just those.
Basically, dudes were walking around in boxer briefs.
Yeah, a little longer, but yeah, compression shorts, pretty much.
Yeah. No, I remember there was one kid that came to school in biker shorts, and he was not a small kid. He was probably like at the time, he was probably one of the biggest kids there as far as
So slightly overweight, because that's how our age group rolled. It was like
yeah.
you'd have one kid in your class, and he was slightly overweight. Maybe you even had that one fat kid, but there was usually only about one.
He's probably as big as I am now, but like a kid, like
But
kid
like 8.
size. Yeah. But he wore them, which was weird, because it's like, come on, man. I mean, it was so weird. I mean, a lot of the stuff in the early 90s, like you get the hot pink and like the hot neon colors, like the 80s kind of aesthetic that time was so fucking goddamn ugly. It's like that's one thing that I hope never comes back, but it kind of has.
It kind of that right now is kind of
I know.
the 80s back, but not nearly as horrible.
It looks
but just
better.
The bright colors, like everything.
Yeah.
That's why I think this Reebok deal is going to be shit with the UFC, just because like they're into CrossFit, and every Reebok, anything I've seen at a sporting goods store, is all fucking neon colors and just
I mean, I don't know if that's the reason why it's not going to work, but
gives a fuck about the deal.
doesn't
Who
help.
wears Reebok? That's all I'm
know.
saying. Like if they can pay those dudes, awesome. But I don't think we really talked about it last week. The new deal.
No, but I
Or
was
if it was
expecting
announced.
Yeah, well, yeah, we talked about it initially, but it's changed. They changed how they're doing it, and then the reactions.
Went from rankings.
It went
to now
from
they're going
rankings.
to the amount of
Seniority.
fights you have.
Yeah, how your seniority in how many
It's
fights?
on the top pay scale. Here, I'll put it into perspective.
Yeah, well, hold on.
Our man Matt Brown, who's fought, God knows how many. He fought 5 times in 1 year, won every fight.
That was an awesome.
He's
year.
still 1 or 2 fights away from even being on the top pay scale.
Yeah,
You have to have 20 fights. Now let's average that as, let's say you're a heavyweight.
yeah. Fight once a
Heavyweights
year,
might
maybe.
fight fuck twice a year, and that's if they don't get hurt. So as long as you have a 10-year career
Yeah,
where you continuously don't lose at least 3 in a row, then you could maybe make it to the top pay scale. So let's say you start at 27. By the time you're almost 40, which means you're out of the game over the hill,
Yeah.
you might get that big check.
yeah. No, it's like when we first talked about it and the rankings, which when they announced the seniority thing, I'm like, that makes more sense in a way, because then it's like people that have been in the game for a long time may not be like, especially guys that are kind of past their prime in a way, they'll get the top scale even though they may not be high in the rankings anymore. But so I thought initially, and then the actual numbers came out, how much they were going to get paid. And I don't know do you remember if they announced any like breakdown number wise in the previous system? Seemed a lot more. It's like, right?
Now, the very
Now it's
top
ridiculous.
you can get is 20 grand, and that's for 20 fights and more.
Yeah. And then you get, if you're a champ, you get like a bonus.
40.
Yeah. But it's like,
40's for the champ, 30's for the challenger, 20's for anyone with 20 or more fights. So a guy like Luke Rockhold tweeted out right after it came out.
Yeah.
He was like, are you fucking telling me that, what is he, the top 5?
Probably next
Or
in
no,
line.
it wasn't Luke Rockhold, it was Tim Kennedy.
Okay.
And he's probably in
10.
the top 10.
Yeah, but he's new. He's very new in
Well,
UFC.
he was a Strikeforce guy.
Yeah, which are
And
they're
I think
counting that. I think they're counting
they
the
are,
yeah, like WEC and Strikeforce. I think they're counting those records.
which is then I think you should have to count Pride fights for the few guys that are still in from Pride. I think you should.
I'm sure those guys. I mean, all those guys have tons of fights anyway. So it's like, I think I would imagine they would.
Here's a perfect one. If Conor McGregor didn't have his own individual deal with Reebok, let's say he loses to Jose Aldo. His next fight, he goes down to getting paid $2,500 for the fight.
Yeah, assuming they let him go for that. I mean, if he lost and then.
But I'm
hit a
saying, like,
pregnant
he
woman
already
with
has
a car.
a deal with
Yeah.
Reebok anyway, so he's getting paid his money. But pretty much all they're saying is, if you're a good-looking girl or you're an established champion, you can get paid. And because Dana's like, Ronda's never wore any of her sponsors to the ring, and she still makes money. It's like,
Yeah,
are
but
you
she's
fucking
like-
comparing Ronda Rousey to everyone else in the UFC? That's that's the biggest fuck you to all the fighters
She
you
is-
could possibly say.
She's the only golden child the UFC has left. John Jones completely, whatever hope he had at being their golden child, completely has been, tarnished. But she is, kind of their one shining, grace of like perfection. She's done everything right in a lot of ways.
I kind of find it funny that they're not really. You would think Chris Weidman, being the All-American boy, and this and that, and dethroning Anderson, like it seems like they could give a fuck less about Chris Weidman.
Maybe. Well, first off, he's not like a champion people are like excited about. He's not like an Anderson Silva fighter. Maybe
He knocked Anderson out.
I know,
and
I
then
understand that, but he doesn't have that mystique. he doesn't have like you don't have the same excitement for watching like the Chris Weidman fight, the next, although it is a good fight, versus Anderson Silva versus Vitor Belfort.
I agree.
You know, but if after this, if he just destroys, although people will probably blame it on him, on Belfort not being juiced up if he loses or when he loses, but he might become that person. You know, I just don't think he doesn't have that popular personality. Where it's super easy with fucking Ronda. She's attractive. She's comfortable in front of the people. You know, she interacts, and she's like a completely unique specimen as far as where she came from, her story, and what she's done. I mean, she completely blew the doors open for women MMA. You know, so it's like. She's a complete, like, her story is unique unto its own. Like, nobody else has that kind of trajectory that she's had. So, and it's an easy fucking, like, when you have your champion getting hit and running into pregnant women, the UFC's like, thank God we still have Ronda Rousey. Like, she's the only thing, although they'd be doubling down on Conor McGregor, I'm sure. They'd be like, okay, let's do another world tour or some shit. Let's make sure they don't get hurt.
If he loses,
yeah, or gets injured. I mean, that shit happens. Not as much in the the smaller, but
it's ridiculous the amount of injuries anymore too.
Yeah, but this Reebok deal is fucking ridiculous. And I pulled up.
There's no way it looks good, and
No.
I mean, fuck what.
Yeah.
Dana's saying that it's comparable to any other deal except for the other other professional sports, except for other professional sports pay people.
Yeah. I mean,
if you're a professional athlete in the UFC, and there's possibilities. There's quite a few of them making under $50,000 a year.
oh, for sure. I'm sure that, yeah. I mean, especially if they have like 500 fighters. I'm sure there's a huge percentage of those that are
Bottom rate's 8 to show, 8 to win.
Yeah.
You could have.
And that's that's before taxes, before
Yeah,
paying
you could have
managers.
3 fights in a
and
year,
all that.
which is a lot of fights in a year, and win all of them and still not make fucking much money.
But if you're good,
You can get a bonus if you
And if you're
Don't get me
fighting,
wrong, there are ways to
yeah.
make the money.
And if you're fighting 3 times in a year and you're winning those fights to get 3 fights, then you're probably going up in the pay scale as well, because it means you're kind of a draw. I mean, they do have a good. It's shitty. It's a fucking shitty thing, but in the long run, it'll be something that in the history of the UFC, it'll be like, remember that time. Unless fighters start going more and more to Bellator, like that's the one thing that's like,
If you can make the money, Viacom's they've got a deep checkbook.
Well,
then
and they
you can
don't care.
Still get your own sponsors on top of that.
yeah. So it's like you can make money. But we'll see. We'll see if they adjust. And how long is the Reebok thing? It's like a few years or whatever.
5 years.
Yeah. So who knows? In 5 years, they do another contract. They'll bump it. I mean, it'll be a completely different thing in 5 years.
I just don't get it though. The fact that Reebok didn't even make MMA gear as far as I knew before. Recently.
It would have been amazing if they if the UFC. I mean, they probably. It wouldn't have worked, but if it was like a Hayabusa or some kind of brand like that that's been with the UFC for a long time, or like a Tap Out or something like that.
Tap Out already sold to Walmart a while back, so they don't even sponsor.
But I'm
any
saying
fighters.
something like that. But those companies probably can't afford Reebok money, however much, $6 million or however much they.
70 million they're promised over 5
that's
years.
right. Yeah.
And they're saying it all goes to the fighters, except it doesn't.
Yeah. I fuck, man. I mean,
But here's what I don't like.
Yeah.
Their excuse is, well, you can personalize your line and it'll get sold. So if you're good, then it's like
it could. I mean, that could. We don't know what that's going to do.
that shit. I love the UFC. Follow it all the time.
Yeah.
How much UFC gear you got?
None, but I do own Silver Star shit. I have fighters shirts.
I've got a Tap Out shirt
that
I got it like fucking on a clearance rack.
Yeah, but I have.
And I've got a UFC like tank top, kind of like they wore on the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah,
like the mesh tank top.
Uh-huh.
I've got that, But that's it. And I
Yeah.
bought the tank top at an event.
But people buy like walkout shirts. That's a category of things.
It is,
you
but
know?
I don't know anyone that does.
I have like 3 walkout shirts.
All right, I know you.
Yeah, so the people do spend, just like I have a lot more podcast shirts. Clearly, Tales from the Hard Side. But you know, I mean, people buy those shirts. You know, just like people buy jerseys and all that kind of shit. We'll see. I'm curious to see what the fuck with this kind of shitty deal. What the fuck the uniforms, quote unquote, are gonna start looking like? Because that they're supposed to be unveiling that shit during their fight week, like July, when their big thing in Vegas. So
I think it would be funny if they unveiled it and everyone just fucking booed.
yeah, it's just
Just
dog
like they
shit.
did Roger Goodell at the fucking draft. Like every time he stepped on stage, just a fucking rain of boos. Like, fuck you.
Both fighters are wearing the same color, like it's both like a taupe or something like that. It's like
It says Reebok real big on the dick.
Yeah.
Just on the dick. You're like, the
Yeah.
fuck? Boo.
yeah, and they just have the logos on the female ones. Just the
I wonder what
logos over the
Reebok thinks
nipples.
about it, because I actually, like, when all this shit was going on, I typed in on Twitter just at Reebok to see who all was commenting on Reebok.
Yeah,
And whoever runs the Reebok Twitter has to be like, what the fuck happened?
I don't think they give a shit. They're getting paid like whatever. They know.
What are they
man.
getting paid if they're dumping 70 million into it? They're not getting paid. They're paying out.
No, I'm saying the guy running the Twitter account for Reebok.
Oh yeah.
is just
no,
an
but even
employee.
he had to be like, this
Dude,
is
if I ran Costco's Twitter account when I still worked for that company and they were getting a lot of bad shit, I'd be like, this is the best day of my work ever. Like, this is awesome. Like, that's to have like public hate for your company when you hate your company. And I would imagine, unless they're like a freelance kind of a web or a social media expert, they're probably like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. It's like, they're probably just like, I wish, like, this is their opportunity. Do I want to quit this job? Do I have an epic enough reply to any of these to make it worthwhile to quit my job?
You know, it's funny. In the last week, I've watched 2 different movies where Costco's kind of a main part of the movie.
Okay, let me guess.
All right.
Employee of the month?
Nope.
Okay. There's one, something with King something. Independent movie. There's like a treasure supposed to be, they break in, and they dig underneath
Nope,
the pallet.
it's not
No,
that
it's
one.
not that one. Okay. Costco is a main thing in it?
Yep.
Can you give me a clue?
Mike Judge.
Oh. Welcome to Costco. We love you.
I love you.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot. People say that at the door a lot.
Do they?
Yeah. I mean, fuck. I mean, you know, I've seen probably every movie that's Costco, or I've seen a fucking employee like training video where they have like there's clips
Welcome
from
to Costco.
Seinfeld and shit.
I love you.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't do that one though, but
Welcome to Costco.
Yeah.
I love you.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's where that company goes.
And then, so Idiocracy.
Idiot.
is
Yeah,
that movie.
yeah. For those that don't know, I want to watch that movie again, man. It's
I
been a
just
while.
I watched it a couple. I rented it and watched it a couple
Yeah.
times just because of it's. And I showed it to someone who had never watched it, and she's like, "Oh my fucking god, this is good."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Right?
That's a good
I'm like,
gauge. If
You
you watch,
fucking, how do you not?
Yeah.
First off, she's our age too, so I'm like, how do you not? How have you not seen this? And second,
I
like,
can see it.
I'm like, Office Space. She's like, I love Office Space.
Okay.
I'm like,
That's kind of a weird. It's kind of a. I mean, it's kind of a offshoot movie. Like a lot of people haven't seen. Fuck, what's it called? Idiocracy. You know, it's just I don't know why. It's one of those movies that just it took a while to get popular. Before it was
perfect.
like all
it nails what's going on right now.
It's way and it's
So meta.
yeah, but it's a stupid movie. So it's like it portrays itself as like a
Oh,
But it's like, yeah, if you
my apartment shit.
if you work in any kind of service industry or sales job or work with the public at all where they don't give a shit about, or work for anybody, you know, if you are with the vast majority of people in the world, yeah, it was ahead of its time in a way.
The other movie was The Watch,
The Watch.
which I don't think a lot of people saw or knew about that movie either. And it's Ben Stiller, Vince Vaughn, Jonah Hill, and some other dude. And they're like neighborhood watch.
Right. That movie came out. Was that the Trayvon Martin time? That came out around that time, and that's why it didn't do well in theaters. Because it came out right. I think it was right when that trial was going on.
It's not. I mean, it's not the best. It's not the best, but it's pretty good. It has aliens and shit in it. And that's kind of the premise.
Did you see the other mall cop movie with what's his face? It's like a dark comedy. It's the dude from same guy, Seth Rogen.
Oh.
Seth Rogen's in it.
Oh yeah, that one came
What
out
is
the
that one?
same time that Paul Blart did.
Probably, but it's like a super dark.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
it, but I
What's it
haven't
called?
seen it in forever. Oh, I fucking forget, man. I
Fucking
remember
great
seeing
movie,
it,
though. That's
but
a-
I've only seen it once, and it was forgettable because I don't really
What?
remember it.
It's good, man. You should watch that again.
I need to rewatch it then.
Super
because-
dark. It's a super dark, like it. Yeah, it's okay. Hold on, I gotta look it up. I have a clip for I pulled up a thing for the UFC fighters
Is that Rent-A-Cop?
reacting to it.
Or
No, yeah, Reebok. I'm kind of curious to see what the new pumps look like because I know that's something that they're bringing back.
they're shitty. The pumps on the side. It was the ones in the John Jones commercial.
I never saw the commercial. I haven't
Oh,
seen
shit.
any commercials for it. Okay, what
They're
was I
low
looking up?
tops, and the pumps on like the side. I had a pair of pumps back in the day, and they were
Me too.
fucking horrible.
Yeah, just the tongue
They
inflated.
fell apart. The pump blew up, and then the sole fell off. I'm like, wow, these are quality.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Filmography. Actor. Damn, I gotta pee.
I can see the fucking cover of that movie too in my head. It's like yellow. Seth Rogen's in the mall cop uniform. But yeah, that
Dude,
one
what
came
did I
out.
just-
That was kind of a Dante's Peak volcano,
Yeah, but it was the better. What was the other one?
Armageddon,
This dude.
Deep Impact.
This dude works, son. Like I'm scrolling through so much fucking. Okay, here we go.
He wrote half of those too.
Observe and report.
Observe and report.
Yeah. Well, he's fucking talented, man. You've seen his stand-up thing when he was a kid or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was fucking. He's a funny guy. I like his movies. I like his stuff. People hate on him. Some people do, but I love his shit, man.
I just watched This Is the End again a few times.
So observe and report.
Is great.
Really? Wait, this is the end. I didn't like the end of that movie. That's the one where it ends with In Sync or Backstreet Boys, right?
Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
I mean that's
I gotta
whatever.
try and rewatch
That's
it.
whatever. That doesn't bother
I
me.
wasn't a fan of the movie. I don't know if I was paying attention necessarily, but I wasn't a fan of that movie that much. And then when that moment happens at the end, I'm like, they're just selling to it's like it was too much. I couldn't do it.
It was in the movie
bullshit.
almost in the beginning
Was it?
in a montage, and then that's kind of why it all brought it back.
Yeah.
But actually, when that came on the first time, I was like, "You awesome!" Like I was never like a Backstreet fan, but
Yeah.
shit nostalgia of
Yeah, I could see that. But for me, like when that happened, I was like, that's exactly what they want. They're just selling nostalgia. They're using like, here's this reference that has nothing to, I mean, I get it. Maybe I need to watch it again. Maybe I was angry. Maybe I came home, maybe had too much whiskey, and I was just in a
the
bad
same way.
mood.
Observe and Report to me didn't stand out, even though I know
Dude.
I've seen it.
But that's a dark, like you gotta like dark comedies. Like if you're not a fan of dark comedies, then you're probably not gonna like it. But I enjoy. I used to not like dark comedies, but I've developed a taste for them over the years, as my soul had been eaten away, sold in stock prices to a company. Yeah, so that Fucking great movie though. Did you ever see 50-50? It's the one with him and
Joseph Gordon-Levitt with
the cancer
He has
movie.
cancer.
Yeah.
I think I saw it once, but that's another one that I
great
just saw once, and I don't know if I was fucked up or what. I don't remember a whole lot of it. I remember it was good in parts and sad in parts.
Yeah,
and-
it's a really good movie. That's probably one of. There's a lot of Joseph Gordon-Levitt movies that I'm a fan of. But that's one of them that was, and that I went to go see it in the theater with my girlfriend at the time. And as I was in Target next door getting candy, because you got to sneak that shit in like a fucking adult, I get a text. This was when the time when everybody was trying to beat me to telling me when people died. And this was just when Steve Jobs died of cancer. And I'm about to go see this cancer movie. And I didn't know. That was one where people were like, did you see Steve Jobs died? I was like, fuck you. And I went on Twitter. I was like, oh, shit. And I'm an Apple fanboy. So that it impacted me in a little bit. Like, I felt bad that Steve Jobs was dead. Anyway. So it was weird. It was weird going to see a movie where the premise is this character has cancer just after I found out that the almighty Steve Jobs perished of such a horrible disease. He needed CBD oil, bro. He could have been around if he still ingested
I thought he
weed.
was a pot advocate anyway.
Yeah, he was, but I don't think he was still. I mean, he did. I'm pretty sure he did all that
If
stuff.
he got
when he was
cancer
younger.
at that point and he had that much money, I bet that he was doing something like that. Sometimes
Yeah.
it don't work, man. Other times it fucking heals shit instantly.
It's true. Well, I don't know about instantly, but it does
Well,
work.
not instantly, but like
It works.
within weeks or months.
Which is crazy. Did you watch the Joe Schilling or listen to the Joe Schilling on
Yeah, yeah.
Rogan? Yeah.
Did you catch Ari's latest podcast?
Yes.
He did a spoiler of Whiplash.
Oh yeah. Of course I will. Yeah, I listened to that. That was yesterday.
I was like, hey, wait, we just did that like
great.
3 weeks ago.
Listen, I enjoyed their discussion of it.
So did I.
far
I
more
really
than
did,
ours.
but
we pointed out some things. We had
it was
our own.
half and half. They about half actually talked about the movie.
Oh, they
and the
went
other
on
half
tangents like crazy. It was
Yeah.
a very giant bush of a conversation. But I liked it, man. I mean, I love that fucking Ari's great. He's so good at like telling stories. He's good at he's amazing at podcasting. Like he's on fire right now. You know, he just announced today.
He got picked up. Yeah, they
Yeah.
picked up for another season, and
Yeah.
this is not happening.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Have you watched? I don't know. I think I've missed some of them.
all.
You have?
Well, I think I have.
The new-
I should go back through
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah, that's a great. Everybody, if you don't know, go to on YouTube. This is not happening. Comedy Central.
It's not happening, or just visit arithegreat.com.
Yeah. Fucking, I love that show, man. That's a great show. Man. The first time I went and saw comedy was Ari on 420 with Justin, my girlfriend, my roommate at the time, and it was him. I know I've talked about this a ton of times. Him, Freddie Lockhart, and Tony Hinchcliffe.
Awesome.
And now Tony is like,
Yeah, now
know?
Tony's skyrocketing. I guess
Tony filmed a special. Did you see that? And it was, I guess he did it one shot style
One
too.
shot, yeah.
I want to see that so bad, man. And I think he just
Freddie just got married recently.
did. He really? I haven't.
He he's
dropped
kind
off.
of working in other facets for a minute, and I think he's getting back into comedy now. But he just got married.
He always seemed like a good dude.
I
man.
always really liked Freddie.
Yeah.
I thought his podcast was really good when it was on. Like he always seemed like a good dude. Did we ever get him on the podcast?
No. Yeah, and his comedies, he's a hilarious comedian, and he does really good impressions, but that's not his act. Like he had one joke in his set that was impressions, but
Was it Morgan Freeman?
no, it was he was Shaq doing impressions. So he was impersonating Shaq, and then he was doing impersonations. So it's kind of, and maybe involved crowd work, maybe, I don't know. It was funny though, but I was expecting his act to be more like that, just because I had known him from podcasting, and he did a lot of that shit during the podcast. But yeah, man, that was a great as far as first, and that's where my girlfriend bought me the Ari shirt.
See, Ari
is my favorite
was just
shirt.
in Thailand with Pete C.
Yeah. Yeah. But we've had Pete C on. We haven't had Ari
Yeah,
on.
we've had Pete on. Pete and I had I'll bullshit with him on Facebook every once in a while. Ohio connection, we used to hang out at the same festival area, right? He used to work there.
Yeah. We talked about that on that episode.
Yeah,
That was a weird episode.
That was cool. So
Yeah.
but yeah, it looks awesome, and a lot of our English buddies seem like they vacation in Thailand
Dude. Yeah.
once a year or something for like a month.
Just travel in general. Those guys fucking they're always somewhere. They're in Australia, they're in Thailand, they're always going places. Not fucking coming to the US.
Cyprus.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I wonder what those guys are doing, because
I talked to my buddy who's from over there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just cheap flights, bro.
Oh no,
There's
for sure.
there's cheap flights to Thailand and the flights
And it's just cheap
in
when you're
Europe
there. Yeah.
and are like under 100 euros
Yeah.
just for like an inter Europe flight. It's almost like fucking bus fare.
Yeah. But they get better, like their vacation times and all that kind of stuff. Like as far as their work, how they work, it's a completely different setup there than in the US.
They get so much. Well, they know that people actually need time off to fucking be happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hilarious, man. The factory that I worked in for so many years, they've been on almost mandatory 7 days a week for like 2 years now.
That's
Suck
ridiculous.
my fucking dick with that mandatory.
That's ridiculous. This is recent, or this is back when you were there?
Within the last, I haven't worked there in 4 years.
Yeah.
But within the last 2 years, it's been mandatory 7 days a week.
Fuck that shit. Learn how to program an iPhone app and just start making apps, bro. You can
Dick
become
with
rich.
that shit, man.
You can get-
fucking. How are you even gonna live a life? Like even
don't
when
know. You can't,
I
man.
did a year there. Like not the whole time I worked there, it wasn't like that. But for 1 year, it was.
Yeah.
I
How
made
long?
good
How long
money.
were you there? How long were you there?
8 years.
Okay.
From 21 to 29.
Yeah. That's fucking
So
ridiculous.
I spent the good years of my life in this fucking shithole.
You know,
Doing
that's
nothing but
sometimes you
rotten
got to do that to realize, oh, this isn't the life I want to. I'd rather just be struggling doing something that I
Took
don't.
me almost dying to figure that shit out. I'm like, oh wait, so I could just live my life by the books and be saving up for what?
Yeah.
To retire, to enjoy my life after I'm all old and decrepit?
Yeah.
Or let's say I'm living my life like that and never do anything because I'm saving up all this money, but then I get into a car accident one day
Yeah.
and I didn't enjoy any of it. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking doing any. Like, I'm going to enjoy every goddamn dollar I make.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's why I'm not having any kids
No.
purposefully.
Yeah.
Is because I want to enjoy all my money. And
will-
then when I'm done,
Yeah.
I'll die broke as a fucking
Yeah.
Van Gogh
Yeah.
and not give two fucks. It's
Dude.
like, well, that's how it went.
Preach, Keith, preach. Yeah, that's same thing, man. It's like I don't want kids. I don't want kids. At least right now, no. I will invest not to have kids, and it's just it's like I don't like so many people that are like start your own business and like everybody wants to like I'm listening to a lot of Tim Ferriss. I'm listening to a lot of audiobooks like business entrepreneur shit, and it's like everybody wants to like build something so they could become a millionaire and their business can.
I don't
grow
even
this whole
want that,
thing.
dude.
I just want to
wanna
fucking
make a living.
dude. If I can pay rent with podcasting, I'm winning. I'm already doing way better than I've been doing for the last whatever. So it's like I don't know.
I went from making almost $20 an hour to make a minimum wage,
Yeah.
and I am way happier now.
Yeah.
Granted, I can't do as much, but here's the flip side.
You're not
If I
flying to
was
Thailand.
still there,
Yeah.
I'd be working 7 days a fucking week, and I still couldn't do anything with it anyway.
You wouldn't be on the show, bro, because you'd be at work.
be at work, or I'd be tired as fuck,
Yeah.
like right after work, being like, "Can we get this done, dude? I haven't slept."
It's fucking ridiculous, man.
7 days a week.
That's one thing that, like, life is awesome. Like, even if you don't have money, like, it's way easier being poor when you don't have a shitty day job to go to. Like, if you're working at a shitty day job and you're barely making ends meet, that sucks. Because you're working, you're sacrificing your life barely to afford living your life, you know? So it's like,
I've loved learning how to live poor.
oh yeah,
Like,
I mean, that's the
is-
thing. Yeah, this is shit's easy. Like, I can throw away everything, and it's like, I've done this shit before. It's just stuff.
Whatever, dude. Yeah, it's
I've
just
been to
fucking
thrift
stuff.
stores. You can get all kinds of shit for cheap.
I've left my entire life twice. Just all my belongings, pretty much, twice in my life. Just been like, whatever.
Yeah,
And you know what I found out? All that shit that I couldn't live without,
yeah,
totally live without.
dude. That's why.
It's
that's why.
so
With
easy.
yeah, with all my shit packed up, I've noticed that, like, I don't need like, aside from the art stuff, art supplies that I'm not using right now. Like, a lot of that, that's why I'm going to go through everything again. It's like, I don't need any of this shit. Like, I don't need any of this shit. Although once I am done fucking painting and move out of here, most of my day is spent doing shit that's not completely what I want to do. But I'm going to get rid of even more shit. I'm looking forward to it, man. It's taking
The
a
only
little bit
thing
longer.
I'm worried about in the move is a fucking bed, dude.
Dude, yeah. I'm going to have to get a new
That's
bed too,
honestly
but-
the only
yeah.
thing that it's like we're gonna get there, and it's
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have any furniture.
No. I'm probably not going to have... I mean, I have, like, these fold-up... Like, everything's fold-up, like, camping supplies, basically, that I'm living on. But I don't... We can get the used shit. That'll be whatever.
No, but a bed.
Yeah, no.
A bed is,
Dude, if...
even just a mattress.
Yeah.
I don't even need a twin mattress.
Well, if we
But
can get
I'm
our
not gonna-
numbers... Listen, Keith, if we can get our numbers better, right? Which I'm working on, and I've been learning SEO. I'm like doing all this kinds of shit. All these kinds of shit. I'm doing these kinds of shit all over the time. Like, if we can get our numbers right, then we can start getting sponsors, and we can start making money, and maybe getting some free shit. I'm just saying, potentially, if we can get... That's the thing. That's the one thing I haven't worked on. Because it's boring as fuck. You know, is trying to figure out the best ways to promote shit. So now I'm focusing on that.
Well, I just think it'll be a lot easier once we're both in the same
Yeah, for sure.
space, instead of, we can sit down, we can have meetings, like we can talk about shit, like, into where we could do that now, but
It's stupid.
it's not
It
the
feels
same. Yeah,
it feels
it's fucking
weird.
dumb.
It's like, let's have a meeting, Keith. Call me on Skype. Yeah. I understand, man. Yeah, it's going to be, first off, it's nice that we have,
I think Colorado will also, sorry to interrupt, I think
alright.
Colorado will also offer a lot more opportunities in.
yeah. Well, now that I don't have to worry about, you're talking about weed, right?
No, I'm just talking about, maybe weed type stuff that would sponsor
For
us.
sure. Dude, we could produce a 20-minute, 10-minute weekly episode reviewing the newest strains, random whatever pot or dispensary X wants to hire us or pay us for it. We'll just review whatever new shit they have, and they can just pay us in weed, and I can take care of all the fucking easy shit. Like, that's the thing. It's like, I don't know. There's a lot of potential. In Denver.
Plus,
So-
at least we've got, a backlog of shit that we can actually be like, hey, listen, we actually have done hundreds of episodes.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if something, like, if a IDP clip takes off, if any of these things take off, and let's say the numbers spike on that, and it's like a legit spike and not just some random thing because I titled the episode the same thing as a fucking popular song.
Or unless Adam Scorgi has another documentary that fucking...
Yeah.
Because what was that? That was our big hit one recently was an old Scorgy one, right?
Yeah, and I saw where all the traffic was coming from, and it's like a weird site that's like generic, but it has the video up there and whatever, it's getting traffic. So
What somebody took our video?
you can embed videos on your website,
Yeah.
you know. So they just did that for. There's been a few. There's Adam Scorgy is one of them. Gareth Reynolds, a Dog a Baby episode, maybe a Mish too. Like there's a few videos that people have embedded on
Todd
their site.
Smith had us a lot of hits for a while
Yeah,
too.
he still gets. That's another one that still gets regular hits. Like that's the thing. That shit lives online forever until.
Well, it's like
whatever.
in that Todd Smith interview where I referenced something from an old interview I found on YouTube, and he was like, "No, it's kind of," and I was like, "Oh shit, sorry,
Yeah,
didn't know." Just kind of did internet research, and
yeah. I mean, it's hard to know what the fuck gets popular. Like the one Gareth Reynolds episode that's popular is like
is
the
that the
second one.
Chipmunk one?
No, it might be that one. They've all done pretty good, but I think it was the second one, the one that's like spiked.
I can't wait till we both get there so we can start having guests on
Yeah,
again.
for sure. Yeah. That's one thing that I miss. It's been really nice. I mean, it's nice being able to do the show without having to worry about guests. Just you and me. Bullshit. 2 hours solid. We're done. We're good. But I do miss. There's a lot of our old friends that I miss getting on here that I want to get back on, and then new guests.
I think once we hit Colorado, we might be doing 2 a week just to get in some guests, even backlog some if
Well,
we need to.
That's the thing. We could be flexible as shit with our schedule. I mean, it would pretty much still kind of boil down to you as far as like your work schedule or whatever. But we could be flexible as whatever. You know, we could do it whenever. Doesn't have to be a set time like it is now. It'll be different. But I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic that, like, because things are changing. You can access, everybody that buys a new TV can access the show just as easily as they can access if they have Netflix, fucking any Netflix show. So you never know, man. It's potential. I'm not looking to fucking the ad sales part of it, trying to get sponsors. Like, I don't really know the part of that, but
We'll figure it out.
yeah. No, I'm not worried about it. But it's just boring. Like all the boring analytical fucking work that's needed to be done is.
Plus, I feel like we could get some more comics on being in Denver. That a lot of them go there.
Yeah.
Like maybe even
do a
do
lot.
like live shit.
Yeah. We can do. We'll be able to do. Listen. The fact that we're able to do this show, video and audio, with you in Ohio, me in San Diego, it's
gonna get easier.
it's definitely going to get easier. But this is like most people that have like remote hosts or guests, they can't do this shit, So we're already ahead of the curve.
Just by outlasting the rest of them.
Well, by outlasting, but it's like we're doing this shit. Like, there's no other. What other podcast does that has this kind of setup? I mean, Punch Drunk Sports kind of, but their technology is dog shit. They have
They've all been on our podcast, but Ari.
I love those guys. It has nothing to do with that, but they have the most outbreaks of technology herpes out of any podcast that I listen. I understand that, but the herpes has followed them every time. Like I get into that show, it's almost every episode they have issues. But I understand it's a complex show. Not many people are trying to do all the things that they're doing. But
I like it when Sam and Ari get mad at each other.
yeah. Oh, I love that show.
We're about to turn into a pumpkin.
Oh shit, we are.
We didn't even talk UFC.
We did talk we talked Reebok.
Well, slight.
We'll get into it.
Faber versus
Frankie
Edgar. Who wins? It's the only one we really need to talk about.
I want Frankie to win. Out of the two, I feel bad for Faber, but I think
them
Frankie's
both.
gonna win.
But I think Frankie's gonna win.
Yeah, just because
He was the 155 champ.
Yeah. Although what's his face? He's going up, right? To Faber. He's going up. to
Faber's
fight?
going
Yeah.
up to where
he's
he was
fought.
for a
Yeah,
long
yeah.
time.
It's going to be an interesting fight, man. I think Faber still has a lot more miles on him than Frankie does. I don't know why I say that though.
Both great though.
I know. It's just going to be a great fight. And it's not going to be a very stressful fight because I do like both of those guys. But, I mean, Frankie Edgar. I rewatched his fight against Gray Maynard.
Which one?
The Fight Pass had
One
the...
where he about dies in the first round,
I think it's the first one. Yeah, I think it's the first fight. Yeah. It's so crazy, dude. I love that guy, though. Oh, and the Miocic Hunt fight was...
Oh yeah,
Hunt's
I saw.
Needs to retire, man. After that fight, that was so disappointing.
He needs to fight Crow Cop, and then they both need to retire after that, and they can
with
just
that.
call it a draw.
Yeah.
I don't care if one knocks the other out.
Yeah.
They're like Pride champions. Let's
Future Shaky Pants champions. Yeah. No, it was tough to watch, man.
No, I heard all about it. I saw a few highlights.
Yeah. All right, man.
I got pissed.
I know, so do I. All right, yeah. Well, you can go now. I'll just wrap the shit up if you want.
All right.
Everybody go to Rob G TV. Oh, follow Keith at Keith Spurlock1 on Twitter as he leaves to go pee. But go to robgtv.com. And that's where you can purchase, as we were talking about earlier, Adam Scorgi is a producer of movies and documentaries. 2 documentaries that he's produced are The Union and The Culture High. 2 amazing documentaries about weed. So if you are a weed aficionado, or if you're somebody interested in being educated more on cannabis-related things, go check out The Union and The Culture High, both of which are on Netflix. But you can also purchase the T-shirts from our friend Robert Garza over at robgtv.com. Use my name, Ray, for 20% off, and you'll be happy. You'll get 2 comfortable shirts for a discounted price. You can also go to inspireddisordercollective.com, and that's where you can check out the loudest geeks in the room. Our buddy Chris Reddy and his friends do a lot of geek culture podcasts, and I think they just did a panel somewhere at some kind of conference. But go check them out. The loudest geeks in the room. All links to subscribe to iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube are at inspireddisordercollective.com, or you can go to theloudestgeeks.com. Check out clips of the show, classic moments, and UFC talk. Every episode I cut out the UFC talk and put it up on YouTube as its own thing under the IDP Clips playlist. So that's it, man. Keith was able to pee. My bladder is full. Life is hard. And the music, the outro music, decided to close itself away. So I need to maintain verbal movement while at the same time searching, because I'm a professional. I know how to do these things. Have you listened to any of the episodes of Sophomore, Keith, yet? It's
No,
only
I
3
haven't.
episodes. Download it, man. Vicky Pezza, friend of show, new show. I think she's only done 3 episodes. Gareth has been on there. Lee Sayat's been on there. She has a segment with her husband that's hilarious. But it's a great show. Sophomore on iTunes. Check that one out
Awesome.
too. Yeah. So
And check out the Dollop, people.
the Dollop.
Like
Yeah.
I've put that out there a few times, but it's vastly become one of my favorite podcasts.
Agreed. Yeah. They're live shows
Australian
from Australia.
ones were great.
Especially like just seeing the different humor from the Australian especially that one guy. He was on 2, right? Like had like the
Will? That dude fucking killed me. I love that. And there was a girl on the newest one.
Yeah.
That kind of did that a few times.
Yeah.
Is that-
I don't know. What is that? It's kind of weird. And you know that's got to be like an Australian, maybe, or that's just how he. I don't know. It was funny
I
though.
think it's
weird.
a combination of
Yeah.
it's kind of Australian, but like it's happened a couple times. Yeah, that I was losing it the whole time. But, please check out the Dollop, and I know he does another one with Point versus Point with his
Which is
co-writer
also
Evan.
a YouTube.
I haven't listened to that one at all.
Really? It's definitely gotten better. They have a fucking YouTube channel too, Evan and Gareth. I don't know if that's what it's called, but that show started out as a YouTube show.
But I guess Dave Anthony on the Dollop, like that dude writes for Mark Maron, his IFC show. Maron.
He's been on Maron before.
Yeah. He's a bigger name guy, and I don't really know of him.
He was in
besides this.
But you've heard of Walking the Room? Do you remember Walking the Room podcast?
I know of it,
Yeah.
but I don't know what the fuck it is.
I think that was his podcast too. So that's like, because that's where Vicky. Anyway, we should just wrap this shit up. Go check out the Dollop. Our friend Gareth Reynolds, awesome dude, and Dave Anthony, another hilarious dude. American History by two comics. It's hilarious as fuck. Go check that out. Go check out Sophomore by producer extraordinaire Vicky Pezza and
Loudest Geeks in the Room.
Loudest Geeks in the Room. IDC. Fuck that shit. Not fuck that shit. What the fuck is wrong with that? Just do it, people. Just have sex right now. Go do it.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Inspired
Look to the
Disorder
person
podcast.
to your left.
Embedded signals within this podcast have reprogrammed your natural thinking patterns.
There you go, Keith.
Side effects may include lack of inhibitions, erectile dysfunction,
Now fuck
anal
that.
leakage, transcendental communication with beings from 4 of the 7 primary
there you go.
dimensions. In the event of a tear in space-time, please keep your hands down and feet together. Any loss of life or limbs due to interdimensional travel is not the responsibility of this podcast.
Spit into her mouth. Oh, I didn't cut it fast enough, Keith. People saw you slap her.